These are this afternoon's top stories. Prime Minister Harris concludes inaugural Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Malta. PANCAP hosts HIV/AIDS consultation, and police investigate motive in the Planned Parenthood shooting. Good afternoon and welcome to the ZIZ Midday newscast. Today is Monday, 30th November 2015. I'm Carla Barrage. In national news, it has been a busy last few days for the country's Prime Minister, Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris, who over the weekend wrapped up the 24th Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Malta and is now in Paris leading a delegation to the International Climate Change Conference COP21. During the four-day high-level consultation, Prime Minister Harris engaged several of his colleague heads from African and Pacific nations as part of his commitment to build new bridges. He is quoted in a release from his press secretary as saying he believes that we must work to create new linkages between St. Kitts and Nevis and small island Pacific states and countries in Africa. He was accompanied by Foreign Minister, the Honorable Mark Bransley, Minister of Public Infrastructure, the Honorable Ian Liburd, and High Commissioner to the United Kingdom and Northern Ireland, His Excellency Dr. Kevin M. Isaac. The Paris delegation comprises of Minister Liburd, Foreign Service Officer Bjorn Hazel, Assistant Physical Planning Officer Cheryl Jeffers, Chairman of the Development Planning and Control Board Calvin Pemberton, Senior Environmental Officer June Hughes, Commercial Attaché at St. Kitts and Nevis High Commission in London Gurdip Bath, and Permanent Representative to UNESCO Dr. David Doyle. With the 44th edition of the Federation's National Carnival expected to move into high gear in a few weeks, the police force says one of its major appeals is for persons to respect the traffic restrictions that will be put in place. During an interview at his office, Acting Police Commissioner Stafford Liburd said security will be extended to parking areas.
It is important that people park in certain areas because we must not only look for safety inside the venue, we must look outside. And we want persons to be aware.
Liburd also spoke of the need for there to be patrols through residential communities during the festive season. When asked about the level of manpower within the force, he provided this response.
This year, we are stressing and hoping that we will have additional support with private security being utilized. Private security can help us in certain areas, but we believe it's a technology that we can utilize will help us along with the manpower that we have.
A 20-year-old Namibian male is dead following a shooting incident on Sunday night. ZIZ News has confirmed that Kirsten Ekokeri, who most recently resided at Newtown, was attacked by an unknown assailant at approximately 10 p.m. along King Street in Basseterre. It is reported that Kerry was shot multiple times and was pronounced dead at the scene. The investigations into his death are being carried out by the Violent Crimes Unit and the Criminal Investigations Department of the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force.
Tourism matters because it is the engine of sustainable development. It is an industry poised to revolutionize our nation.
I'm Jack Spencer, third-generation fisherman. Our livelihood depends on tourism, not just mine, but I think the whole island. It touches everyone.
Tourism really contributes to the quality of life of our community. Tourists bring dollars, and when there is more money in our community, that means all of us experience a better quality of life.
Tourism for me started 25 years ago. I started off as a waiter in the industry. So many different things have inspired me to become a part of this beautiful industry.
We need to keep our country clean.
When the tourism season starts, a lot of us get jobs. It's benefiting us in a big way.
One of the most important characteristics you must have to work in the hospitality industry is customer service. It is the most important skill you can have, not only in the hospitality sector, but also in life.
This is our product, this is tourism. Every individual on this island benefits from tourism. So we all have to play our role. Keep our island clean, look after our visitors. Just keep on jamming, we love you.
I am tourism.
I am tourism.
I am tourism. And I'm tourism.
I am tourism. I am tourism.
I am tourism.
I am tourism.
I am tourism.
Follow your heart to St. Kitts.
On to news on the regional scene. The Justice for All program, initiated by the Pan-American Partnership Against HIV/AIDS, PANCAP, recently conducted a national consultation in St. Lucia. The deliberations were aimed at achieving broad-based goals in the fight against the HIV/AIDS epidemic. Here's more.
The Justice for All programs began late in 2013. It involves a series of consultations with governments, religious organizations, youth groups, civil society, and the private sector. Here in St. Lucia, the Pan-American Partnership for HIV and AIDS is helping such groups develop a Justice for All roadmap comprising 15 elements. The fight against the transmission of HIV/AIDS and reducing stigma are two key components.
While I can't say to you, this is how you must think, what I hope through our consultations with you and helping you to understand how your acts of discrimination impact individuals who are affected by HIV, what we hope is that you can make that connection with yourself, especially that many of us experience discrimination in different forms. It might be discrimination in relation to employment, it might be discrimination based upon ethnicity, it might be discrimination based upon poverty, etc. And so what we hope through those conversations is to help people to be able to understand the challenges that are faced by people who are impacted by stigma and discrimination.
On Friday, PANCAP, in association with the Ministry of Health, held a national consultation in St. Lucia to inform the media and other stakeholders on the fight against HIV/AIDS, including Justice for All. The elimination of the transmission of HIV/AIDS from mother to child is another goal. UN Secretary General Special Envoy Edward Green says the rate, which went from 1.3% to 1% in the region, is proof of progress.
If we can implement some of the things on public health and reduce infant mortality, we can be the first region to achieve mother-to-child transmission of HIV. Certainly the OECS could be the first sub-region to achieve the elimination of mother-to-child transmission.
Other elements of the Justice for All program include enhancing the family spirit in the form of national and regional solidarity for those in need, increasing access to treatment, promoting sexual and reproductive health rights, and achieving legislative reforms for modifying and repealing laws that infringe on human rights. Member states will submit a declaration for approval by Pan American heads of government upon completion of discussions on the elements.
In the Bahamas, violence against women was highlighted throughout the past week as several groups came together to educate the public with a Violence Against Women campaign. Here's more.
Statistics from the Ministry of National Security show this year alone only 3 victims of sexual exploitation have been identified as sex trafficking victims in the Bahamas, and all of them were foreign nationals. 2 of them were brought before the courts, and a third is still under investigation. Immigration Superintendent Stephen LaRota is a part of the government's task force.
It's intense. It's a lot of work. It requires a lot of detail. And it's sad that victims of trafficking are being taken down the road that they've been taken. A lot of it is through economic challenges that they may face at home. They come in looking for a better way of life. The Supreme Court conviction was the first case that we've ever had in the Bahamas, and that person received a 15-year sentence.
At a one-day gender-based violence forum at the College of the Bahamas, Vice President of the Zontas Club of Nassau, Anne-Marie Bain, says a forum such as this could not have come at a better time as violence against women continue to rise.
This forum is very important because, as you know, the high incidence of violence against women is very prevalent in the Bahamas. Bahamas. And it's only now that we are taking a stand during these 16 days of activism to discuss this issue throughout the community. It's unfortunate that, it's not done on a regular basis, but we want to make the most of this 16 days to bring awareness to this issue in the Bahamas. So we'll be going from the College of the Bahamas to the mall and throughout the community.
Nina Maynard, president of the Zonta Club of New Providence, outlined other activities planned to raise the awareness on violence against women.
On Saturday, we're going to be at Cartwright, just outside Cartwright at the Town Center Mall, giving out flyers to give people some more information, not only on what domestic violence is or what violence against women are and what gender-based violence is, but also how you can take yourself away from it and to help to make awareness and to make your life a little bit better from that. Also, we're doing some seminars at schools, at the high school level and at the junior high school level during the 16 days of activism.
Meanwhile, officials from both organizations say they are optimistic that creating awareness will make a difference in the lives of all women in this country. LaDawn Davis, ZNS Network News.
And internationally, Donald Trump is expected to meet with a large group of African American religious leaders, but he has canceled a news conference to talk about it. Some Republican rivals are criticizing Trump more strongly, saying his recent comments on Muslims and apparent attempts to mock the physical disability of a reporter show why he is the wrong choice for voters.
He's playing you guys like a fiddle, the press, by saying outrageous things.
On Face the Nation, Jeb Bush again questioned Donald Trump's fitness for the White House.
But if you listen to him talk, it's kind of scary, to be honest with you.
Trump nevertheless clung to his 9/11 story, using it to question the loyalty of American Muslims during and after the terror attacks.
I've had hundreds of phone calls to the Trump organization saying we saw it. It was dancing in the streets.
Carly Fiorina, herself the object of some Trump barbs, said the campaign is revealing Trump's deeper, more worrisome tendencies.
Donald Trump only feels big when he's trying to make everyone else look small.
Trump will go ahead today with a private meeting with dozens of prominent African-American pastors, doing so amid criticism and confusion. Baltimore pastor and activist Jamal Bryant questioned the wisdom of pastors lending their reputation to a campaign promotional flyer.
Why do those who participate in Black Lives Matter look at the black church as a joke? And maybe it's because of these 100 preachers who have in fact prostituted the authenticity of the prophetic mantle.
At least 3 pastors listed on the flyer have backed out. Others, like Mark Burns, who supports Trump's candidacy, admit many African Americans still have questions.
This meeting is, again, it's a 911 cry that he has to be able to address some of these issues and not just do it privately, but he has to come out and address it publicly.
Numerous other pastors scheduled to be at the meeting have released statements making it clear their presence is not an endorsement. One pastor said Trump must address issues of racism and criminal justice reform. Black Lives Matter protesters have encountered hostility at some Trump rallies, episodes Trump said little about during or after.
Investigators are looking for a clear motive behind the deadly shooting at Planned Parenthood clinic that left 3 dead and 9 injured. Here's more.
Tonight say it could take a week to process the crime scene. The 5-hour siege was pure chaos.
We're pinned down. We're getting active gunfire.
A gunman Friday taking aim at police and everyone else at a Colorado Springs Planned Parenthood building.
He fired around and it blew out the back window of my car.
People inside and out hiding anywhere they could.
All I heard was screaming and people saying to get down. When I had looked out the window is when I had actually seen the gunman just shooting randomly.
As police tapped into closed-circuit cameras to track his movements.
He's coming out, he's got the AK.
He was aiming for my head.
The alleged gunman, 57-year-old Robert Deere of Hartselle, Colorado. Neighbors say he mostly kept to himself, moving into this remote trailer home about a year ago, searched Saturday by police.
It's very easy to just do your own thing and not be noticed because everybody minds their own business pretty much out here.
As for a possible motive, law enforcement sources say after Deere surrendered Friday, he allegedly made rambling, hostile comments about Planned Parenthood. The U.S. Attorney General calls the shooting a crime against women receiving health care at Planned Parenthood. Officials say Deer appears to be a classic lone wolf.
He's not talking to a lot of people. He's not saying, oh, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. Very hard to identify that type of person as a threat.
But even understanding the shooter's alleged motive will not bring back 3 victims. Kiari Stewart, reportedly an entrepreneur, Jennifer Markovsky, a mother of 2, and 44-year-old police officer and family man Garrett Swayze.
He would have gone into that clinic, to serve those people because their lives matter.
Today at his church, a prayer for his alleged killer.
God, we forgive him. We can't not. You've forgiven him. Garrett's forgiven him.
Swayze was a champion junior ice skater who once trained with his good friend, Olympic skater Nancy Kerrigan.
Strong and powerful, and yet somehow did it with a nice ease. You can't explain it. It's horrific and sad.
9 other people were wounded in the shooting at the building just behind me. They are expected to all be okay.
Taking a look at the weather. Skies today will be partly sunny with brief showers. Tonight, an increase in cloudiness can be expected with scattered showers. Winds are blowing moderately from an easterly direction at 14 miles per hour. Today, seas are moderate with waves reaching up to 5 feet. Sunset later today will be at 5:35 p.m., while sunrise tomorrow will be at 6:25 a.m. And that brings us to the end of the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more in detail. Thank you for joining us. I'm Carla Barrage.